When the S20 series launched back in March, Samsung positioned the S20 Plus as a sort of awkward in-between model, priced above the pocket-friendly Galaxy S20 but not quite as out of reach as the S20 Ultra. But if you ask me, the S20 Plus is actually the best phone of the trio, offering just about every modern feature imaginable without some of the Ultra's compromises in autofocus, weight, and pricing. So Samsung's had hardware down for quite some time now, and there's really very little to complain about with the S20 Plus's design. It's incredibly well built, with a curved glass and metal design as always, and there's enough weight to the phone that it feels substantial and premium, but not so much that it's uncomfortable to use. I still think Samsung played it mostly safe with this year's, frankly boring color options, but I'm pretty happy with the gray model I bought back in March, and I mostly keep this thing in a leather case anyway, which feels nice and adds a bit of protection without adding on too much bulk. And hey, if you want more interesting colors, the Note 20 is right around the corner with that really nice looking Mystic Bronze finish. Now, the S20 Plus hasn't been out for that long, so it's not a huge surprise that nobody's really come out with a better screen since. This is a Quad HD Plus AMOLED display with super vibrant colors when you want them, and it's able to get both bright enough for outdoor use and dim enough to scroll through Twitter in bed. Oh, and of course, 120Hz is still fantastic, and I'm getting great battery life even with it enabled. I'm ending most days with around 30% remaining. There's really no need to switch back down to 60Hz unless you want to run the phone in full resolution, since you're still kicked down to 1080p at the higher refresh rate. So not much irks me with the S20 Plus, but I'm still sort of iffy on the software. One UI 2.1 is fantastic for the most part, and it makes by far the best use of one-handed UI elements that I've seen on any phone. But it's still fairly cluttered compared to what you'd get on a Pixel or OnePlus phone, and Samsung still hasn't brought support for gesture navigation with third-party launchers. It's a niche feature, sure, but if you're like me and use something like Lawn Chair 2, you get thrown back into the classic 3-button navigation. Not a huge deal, but I'm definitely looking forward to the fix for this in One UI 2.5. While I'm at it, the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor still isn't my thing either. Now I see you in the comments. For some people, it seems to be working great. But I've just found it to be slower and less accurate than some of the other sensors I'm used to, and I honestly wish Samsung would adopt Google's Face Unlock or even just bring back the iris scanner from the S9. Similarly, I've had great experiences with the cameras on the S20 Plus, but Samsung's image processing has never really been my thing. It's overly saturated for my taste and handles exposure differently than I'd like, but for a lot of people that sort of visual pop straight out of camera is actually preferable, and the raw hardware is very impressive. The S20 Plus has larger sensors across the board compared to older Samsung flagships, and that means it takes in more light and has much better depth of field with close-up shots. I've been seriously impressed with the bokeh in some of the photos I've taken, and having ultra-wide and telephoto lenses of this quality to fall back on is always welcome. I really think that the S20 Plus is not just the best phone in Samsung's current lineup, but one of the best overall phones on the market, at least if you can swing its high price of around $1,200. It's got just about every high-end feature and spec you could ask for without any major setbacks or compromises. Of course, preferences vary and there's no true one-size-fits-all phone, but this is pretty close. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Stick around in the coming weeks, we've got Samsung Unpacked coming up on August 5th and plenty of other videos going live even sooner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.